Well, that was an upgrade from the 2-barrel intake with a carburetor spacer for a 2-barrel to 4-barrel flipped upside down, and we were running a 4-barrel carburetor on that.
I did port and polish that thing out.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But it still
ran like
it hesitated when you got to about 55.
Welcome to the FTP Speed Shop PodCast, a podcast where we talk about what you talk about in the garage because, hey, we're in the garage. I'm your host, Mike Early, and today I've got my good buddy, Ryan Sims.
How's it going?
How you doing, man?
Good, good.
What have you been up to? What are you working on in the garage?
Messing with, I just bought an 85 Grand National, so tinkering with that. It sat for 10 years and hasn't really ran, so trying to learn that thing. I've never owned a turbo Buick before, so.
Yeah, very, very cool car. Probably one of my favorite G bodies, I guess.
Yeah.
So what's the history or what's the deal with that car?
The guy had it. He thought he only had it for 10 years, but after I bought it, it turns out he owned it for 17 years and hasn't driven in 10 years.
The guy thought he only had it for 10 years, but actually had it for 17?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he lost track of time.
That happens sometimes with cars, for sure.
I was just on the hunt for another G body. I wanted another Cutlass. I've had Cutlasses and Regals. I wanted another one. Words of friends. This thing just come about, and it was too good a deal to pass up. And it's kind of a dream car I never thought I'd be able to afford.
Yeah, did you find that locally?
I did, yes.
Oh, very cool. So you were telling me the other day that what the hell was that? The GM Historian or whatever?
Yeah, it's the GM Heritage.
That's what it is.
So the RPO sticker was gone out of the trunk of the thing, and that's basically the build sheet, and that's the only way you can classify a Grand National as a Grand National. It's a WE2 code, and that's the package. And so that sticker wasn't there, so I bought it with talking to the guy basically, I don't know if this thing's real or not, or if it's just a clone turbo Buick.
Yeah.
So I started doing some research, and I got a hold of GM Heritage, and they put me in touch with another group, and I forget the name. But they basically keep files for GM, and it cost me $50. I submitted the VIN number, and they sent me the build sheet. It's actually just the invoice that went to the dealer. It says what dealer got the car, the date, all the options, the list price, and all that.
It's kind of like a window sticker, but it's the receipt for the car, basically.
Yes, basically. I would call it a window sticker.
That's a website you go to? Or
you have to go to GM Heritage or this other site, and I have it written down out in the car. And then you pay $50, you fill out this form, and they just email everything to you.
That's pretty cool. Maybe we'll put a link to that in the show notes.
They carry a lot of stuff. I want to say Buick, they went back to 79. Different cars, they go back different years.
Probably popularity.
Yeah, and it's when they started keeping record, too, because at one point, they just kept stuff in ledgers. And this is like microfilm, and so they go through everything to find that stuff.
Where do they even find that stuff? Like, is there a freaking folding or like a folder drawer somewhere with just all this
There's
stuff?
There's got to be. And like I said, I'm sure they've took everything and probably put it on computers now, but I think initially, like I said, it was in ledgers and microfilm and microfiche, I think they called it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's all converted now to digital form.
So it's probably pretty easy to just type in the VIN and search that number or whatever.
I'm sure.
So there was different Buicks. There was I guess there was a turbo, the T-type or whatever. Yep. So that wasn't the Grand National. I always thought that was the same thing.
Nope, they are different. The Grand National package in 85, they actually made 2,100 of them.
So it's pretty. And
it's
yours
rare.
Is an 85?
Mine's an 85. So it's actually rare. The funny thing about the rarity, they're not as popular because they're not intercooled. They're hot air turbos.
Oh, so they're kind of the beginning, the first kind of generation of it before they realized that let's get some cool air in there and get a little better air intake temperatures for fuel control and things like that.
They started making turbo Buicks in 79. I think it was 78 or 79 is when they started making turbos.
That's crazy to me. And you didn't hear hardly anything about turbos. It was like the Grand Nationals, and then there wasn't a damn car with a turbo, and the imports kind of started getting into them, and now all of a sudden, you know, all the big bad boys and the LS guys, they're all on turbos.
Yeah.
And it all started from the Grand National, probably. Damn near pretty close.
Yeah, that's what the fame was. You know, that was a big car, and the guy actually I talked to there at GM Heritage, he's like, man, I love those things. So he sent me a bunch of promo material for my own. He said, for your own view and pleasure. He sent it to me through the email, like a flyer. It's got like a Buick Grand National coming out of the mist, and it says like the Corvette. I forget what it said. It wasn't the Corvette killer, but something killer.
Yeah.
And then he
it couldn't have been anything GM. It had to be something like Ford or Chrysler or Mopar or whatever.
Because that's the funny thing is
the
that
Daytona
car,
killer.
Yeah. That car would beat the Corvette in the quarter mile stock.
Which I can't believe the GM let that happen, because nothing was supposed to touch GM's Corvette. The Corvette is their holy grail.
And that kind of makes me wonder if that's why those turbos weren't a big deal back in the day, because they didn't want to make a big deal.
No advertisement on it, keeping it quiet, keeping the hush.
But it was a powerful car that got good gas mileage. I mean, it's a 3.8 liter V6. So it doesn't make a whole lot. Stock, that thing makes 195 horsepower.
Dude, it is insane.
But it's only 3,300 pound car.
What's actually a little lighter, and I guess.
So
what's it make stock? The horsepower?
195 for the 85.
195.
Yep.
So I got a 2,800 pound Honda behind you that made 150. The JDM motor, it might have made 195 with the four-banger NA. So I don't know if.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy that horsepower has just gotten out of hand. It's so crazy that cars coming out of the factory now are making 600, 700, 800, 900 horsepower.
I mean, my wife's got a 2017 Malibu, and that's got a 2.0 turbo in it. The turbo looks like a fucking blow dryer.
Yeah.
But I think that thing makes over 200 horsepower. I mean, that little thing scoots.
Yeah, and does that have modes on it?
It does not, but there's a company out there. It's like $450. Well,
maybe that's what you were saying. You could get
They make a chip or a programmer for it, and it increases the horsepower by like 50 horsepower. I forget the torque on it, but for $450 for 50 horsepower, that's pretty fucking good.
That's a nitrous kit that you never have to fill up.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I believe it maintains the warranty too, I believe. But don't hold me to that. Yeah.
Well, believe me, I'm not going to go researching tonight. Before I go to bed, I'm like, I got to bust him on this.
Yeah. So that car, that Grand National, it's stock. It needs some work. Like I said, the 85s are hot airs. They don't have the following like the 86 and 87s. They had the intercoolers. That's where they're all at. And 86, I want to say they made over 20,000 of them in 86 and over 20,000 in 87.
So that was a 2-year option with the intercooler.
Yes.
Yep. So
well, let me rephrase that. GM made that turbo motor. It was in the Buick for 2 years, the intercooled motor. Then it went away in 88, and it was actually offered in a Firebird in 89.
What?
Yeah, there was a turbo Firebird that had the 3.8 liter turbocharged motor in it.
Damn, I bet Tim wishes his was that.
Fuck yeah, he does.
The 305 toilet bowl wasn't cutting it.
I guess those were pretty sweet cars.
I had never even heard of that. Yeah. Like, it's got to be a rare car.
It is. I don't know the numbers produced for that motor, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of them around.
Yeah, that would be a cool little car. You know, everybody talks shit about the V6, but hey, you put a hairdryer on it, and all of a sudden it can compete.
Well, I know the 86 and 87, they kept tuning it up. I think the 87 had like 245 horsepower. And then they made a special edition, which was the GNX. That was the pinnacle of the Grand Nationals.
Oh, yeah.
That was 275, I believe.
And I feel like there's a ton of room left on the table. Like for...
Yeah.
Because I remember there was a dude running around town in the early 2000s, maybe, 2005-ish maybe. Had that silver T-type.
Yep.
That thing was a pretty bad little piece.
It's the same car.
Yeah. But I don't know what he had done to it. I don't know if it was a different turbo or...
Yeah, there's a lot of people strapping bigger turbos on there. There's a company out there that makes chips. And you can chip the thing, and you get the chip to made whatever you want, 100 octane.
Yeah.
The big thing right now, the guys are E85 in them.
Absolutely.
But I know when you E85 them, from my research, you got to put massive injectors in there.
Yeah, it takes about 33%. It's basically a third, more fuel in order to make the same combustion in the chamber. So when I did that with the 283, it was, the jets went from like 72 or something to like 107 or something. So just to make it run right. But that was one of the best things I ever did to that. 13-to-1 compression, had to run race gas. It was $100 to fill the tank up, and you do 2 laps, you're done. And it was like, I can't afford to drive a damn car. I got a wife and kids, so did E85 swap on it and the T56 swap at the same time. The best thing I ever did to that car, because I would fill up my 12-gallon fuel cell and another 2 5-gallon jugs that I left in the back.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, it was $45 or something like that, because it was just over $1. I think
it was
at that
cheaper
point.
then.
Yeah.
Now it's not as big a deal. It's what, 30 cents, 20 cents?
They were subsidizing the shit out of it back then to try to get everybody to start using it.
Because it was $1 or better cheaper.
Yeah.
I remember looking at it and being like, wow.
Yeah, and for a lot of cars too, a lot of people didn't want to use it because alcohol, ethanol always had that bad connotation from all the old school guys. Like, it's going to eat all the seals in your carburetor. Yeah, it's going to melt your hoses out. And
from my understanding, there was a lot of people that said that ethanol was really hard on Japanese injectors. I had heard that forever. It ate something, the plastic or whatever they had in Japanese injectors, it ate the shit out of them. So I don't have any verification of that. I never messed with Japanese cars. So I don't know, but that's what everybody said.
Hey, man, you should try it sometimes. Right. It's not a bad time.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go slow.
Yeah.
It's always a bad thing about doing a podcast in the garage.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going on outside. But
it sounds like a homeless guy singing and taking a shower outside.
It's too cold to be showering outside.
I don't know. He's not trying to steal my car. I don't think he'd be quiet if he's doing that.
Yeah,
though.
That's true. Yeah, he'd be making a lot more racket. It is. I think my oldest has Boy Scouts at 7:30, so he's probably the homeless guy singing outside right
he's
now.
He's getting all souped up to go to Boy Scouts.
Yeah, he's trying to make it to his first class or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. But learning these Buicks, man, there's a lot to them. There's guys. The big thing is alcohol injection, and they just spray a little bit of. They call it alky kits.
So that's like the meth injection?
Yeah, kind of, but it's they sell a kit. It looks like an extra reservoir for your washer fluid. Yeah. And there's a nozzle that goes in and you spray alcohol.
Does that go pre-turbo or post?
I think it goes post.
Yeah.
Right into the intake. Yeah. The throttle, intake. And then I guess people like that because those cars are known for knock.
Well, if I understand the methanol or the meth injection, that basically is a liquid intercooler. It basically cools the air temperature down, and introducing that slows the burn, I believe. So basically, it's like kind of like intercooling it in a way. Yeah. So that you can get the extra boost without worrying about the heat soak from the turbo. Yeah,
and I know a big thing with those doing a bunch of research was pre-igniting because the motors will get so hot from those turbos that your fuel can pre-ignite.
Yeah, with all that heat soak from having a turbo spun by the exhaust, they make a lot of heat. So if you can't keep it cool, and especially if you're probably going just rip roaring that motherfucker.
And a lot of these guys, I mean, I was reading forums and stuff. These, they're changing a bunch of shit in the motors, like the injectors. I need to do that. I think stock, the injectors are 28-pound injectors, something like that. They're super low. Everybody's saying go to 42s at least. And then I need to put a different fuel pump in there. I just bought a cheap one to get it running because the fuel pump was fried. Yeah, when you first started that thing, it'd been sitting for 10 years, so you could tell. Like, by the time you got the bad fuel out of the lines, it started cleaning out and running a little bit better that night. And then, what did you replace the coil pack on it or something? Yeah, but then I ended up putting the original one back on because it was still acting funny. And so I ohmed out the coil pack, and I read a bunch of stuff about those coil packs. The new one ohmed out at like only 8, and they're supposed to be around 12. And so I got the old one, and that one was at like 11.84. Did you just have a dead cylinder on that, or why did you go after that coil? Well, because everybody said that's a big issue with those cars, was the coil and the ignition module. Oh, that's
you got 6 coils, right?
It's one pack into 6. It's a single coil. It's a single coil pack with 6 on it. They're not individual coil packs like a LS.
Okay,
it's one whole unit, so it's together like a brick.
Oh, okay. So I thought when I seen that little, lack of a better term, manifold on there, you know, and I just assumed that was just coils stacked together.
They're all together, and they sit on an ignition module, which is just this big kind of computer thing underneath of it.
It's kind of like, why the hell didn't they just run a distributor?
Yeah, they have what they call a cam sensor.
Yeah,
it's basically a little mini distributor just for that. I mean,
it runs that and does all that. They were changing the voodoo magic from the distributor over to, you know, basically coil on plug or, you know, individual coil packs for each plug.
The crazy thing is, you know, there's a lot of these T-types in these cars out there, but the parts are super expensive. I mean, it's $500 for one of those cam sensors.
Damn, there's not aftermarket for that?
And maybe a lot of it has to do with the world right now.
Yeah,
and trying to get stuff made.
Parts are fucking, it's insane. Everything's going up in value. I can't get a damn hood for the Prelude because they don't make one. Or they don't pop a steel one anymore. So when I threw the old one away, it was, you know, hey, they got a new one. It's $280 or $300 or whatever. So I was like, not a big deal. I'll throw this lumpy piece of shit away.
Right.
And get a new one when I paint the car. Well, fast forward 5 years, they don't have any fucking hoods.
That's crazy. And it's probably hard to find one of those in the junkyard.
And and you do, and it looks like a fat chick sat on the hood and did tap dancing lessons up there. So, but carbon fiber hoods went from a year ago, $700 to $1,300 or so.
That's crazy.
Because now I got to pay for shipping. You know, it's $1,100 plus shipping of $170 or whatever. And it's like, I was scared to bite the bullet at $700.
Yeah,
I'm terrified to bite it at $1,300 for a fucking hood. So we're just gonna we're gonna let the engine be eye candy and call it a day until shit calms down, which I don't know if it's going to. I hope it does. Yeah, but
maybe you should find somebody that can mold stuff and just make you a clear plexiglass one so you can see the motor.
There's a guy, Trey B. Dippin, I believe is his YouTube channel. He actually has some things going on with clear plastic hoods. $1,400 plus shipping, so it's even more money. Thought about doing it and like maybe painting the sides of it because it's got that kind of raised triangle in the middle. You know, and just leaving that so you can see the valve cover. But it's like, again, it's a $1,400 fucking hood.
That's crazy.
The hood finishes the car, but it's $1,400 fucking dollars, and that's $1,400 I could put into a bottom end for the LS1 or, you know, the Chevelle, or I could
it'll run cooler without a hood too.
It better not fucking run hot. I got that fucking aluminum radiator and everything else.
True.
But you know, I want to move on to different projects, so it's one of those things. It's like at a certain point, I'm building a 9200 Prelude. Where do I draw the fucking line?
That's on you. It's your car.
Yeah, I know, and it's like Derek, you know, building his
that's
car.
his thing, though.
He got it. But he said when he rolls it around, drives around town, he rolls the damn windows up because it's not his thing anymore. But when he was a 20-year-old kid or 19 or 16-year-old kid building a car, whenever he started building the thing, you know, that was a popular thing to do.
But think about, what does he drive all the time? He drives a 55 Chevy. Think about a 55 Chevy in the 60s and 70s. A kid probably thought the same thing. This looks like my grandpa's car. I don't want to drive this thing. And then they come back around and but their balls on fire.
His Civic looks like it came out of the Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, but
it's not like he's driving an all original 96 Civic.
It's true, but that shit's coming back.
Grabber green, you know.
It seems like the whole JDM and all that kind of bullshit and everything like that is kind of making a comeback.
I wonder too if it's prices.
Maybe.
Because, you know, there was a time when LS1s were really expensive.
Yeah.
And so people were kind of jumping into the import scene a little bit, and Fast and the Furious was really big then. And then all of a sudden now, you know, you can get a 98 LS1 Camaro for $3,500 or something. Right. You can get it, you know, it's probably beat up and clapped out, but for a 16-year-old kid, it's like, okay, well, I could get a Civic for $1,000 less, or I could have the almighty LS1 in there.
Right.
And just go to town. Yeah.
It's true. And they get good gas mileage if they're tuned right. an LS.
Compared to
like a 350 with a fucking carburetor on it.
Yeah, all the shit that we were rocking in high school.
Yeah, it's wild the way things are going.
When I was 15 and 11 months and like
45 seconds,
27 days, like literally like 3 or 4 days.
What underwear were you wearing? Tuesdays on a Monday?
Yeah,
Perfect.
it was laundry day. Gas was under $1 a gallon.
Yeah, I remember. I bought
the week before my birthday. Fucking gas jumped over $1. It went to like $1.05, and I've never
seen it.
Been able as a driver to be able to buy gas for under $1 a gallon.
Oh man, I remember. I had a 82. I think it was 82 4-door Cavalier. I drove.
Ooh,
it was
Cavalier.
It was my first car I bought, and I bought it from a police officer outside of Omaha. I didn't know. I found it in the paper.
Back when you had to go to the Thrifty Nickel or the Omaha World
This
Herald
thing
or whatever.
was mint. The paint was faded.
What color was it?
It was gray.
Ooh, yeah.
And it had
gray.
black interior.
Okay, hold on. Did it have the black bumpers, like the PVC bumpers, with the gray with the red stripe down the side? No red stripe?
I don't think it had a red stripe.
Damn.
But that thing, it had 80,000 miles on it, and I think I gave $350 for it.
And what year was that?
I think it was an 82. I bought it.
What year did you buy it? Yeah.
Gosh, what would that have been? I don't know. I can't do math.
Carry the one.
99, 2000, I want to say. Something like that.
That would have been close, because I think
98, 99.
So my first car was a 93 Cavalier that my dad bought for me.
That's a new car.
It made me pay for half of it. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I think it'll be a really good car. I told this story.
2-door?
2-door.
Dang. Z24?
Base model.
Oh.
Yeah. But
I always wanted one of the Indies. Man, when I was in high school, there was a girl that had a
Are you talking about Eric Barron's?
No. It was an actual girl, not one that acted like
all
one.
Right. Sorry,
I don't
Eric.
know who she was, but I'd seen it driving. She had a yellow. It was a Beretta. Sorry. It was an Indy Beretta. Oh. It had like the plastic flexible looking fucking on
like
the mirrors.
Had like the body kit with the everything was smooth. It wasn't the textured ABS plastic bumpers.
And then like she'd floor and it made that Beretta cackle. And I'd like to know, all them Berettas, they're gone. I have not seen a Beretta on the road for fucking 6 to 8 years. What happened to them? They were everywhere.
You know what's really weird? If I see a really clean Lumina or Cavalier, I'm like, damn. But I'm like, why? When I don't know. When I was 16 years old, I was like, you're the worst, ugliest thing I've ever seen. Why? I don't know.
I remember it was
Is it nostalgia?
Maybe. You thought it was a cool car at one point.
It's like seeing Fox, and I'm not comparing a Cavalier to Fox, but okay, yes, I am.
Yeah.
But I mean, you see a really clean Fox or a coupe.
I've always loved the Fox.
Or a third gen.
Yeah.
I like the Fox body. I can get behind that. Higley had that one, and I kind of fell in love with it. AJ had the 91 Camaro.
Riley had his. That was just insane. It was a black one.
Yeah.
I don't know. He didn't bring it out much, but
Hibbs had that coupe that he brought out all the time. It was Hanson Racing.
Yeah.
And he always wanted to spray the nitrous. So he was always like, anybody with a blah, blah, blah car, I want to run the nitrous tonight.
Right.
Or juice. He said juice. Yeah, I want to run the juice tonight.
Squirt it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those cars are funny because I know at one point the 90s Cavaliers, they said there was more of those on the road than any other car on the road, period. And they're gone.
Well, you know what's funny is you don't notice cars until you have one.
It's true.
Or until you're looking for one.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's one. There's one. I have the most popular car on the planet. And I didn't notice it until I had a Cavalier. And then all of a sudden, all I saw was Cavaliers.
Well, I recognize a lot of cars. I like to buy and sell junk cars all through high school and growing up. I sat down one time and did a list.
What do you do now? You just buy junk cars and keep them?
Sometimes. I got kids and a wife now. I can't just buy stuff, and stuff isn't affordable. I could go buy $200 cars back in the day, and I could flip them for $800, and I was doing pretty fucking good. My mom worked at the newspaper when I was in high school, so I got free ads.
Oh,
so
you
I
had
was,
an in.
Yeah,
you had an
I
in.
was buying and selling stuff, and I was putting ads in the paper. And I remember at one point she got pulled into the office because I had ran 10 ads that year. And anything over 8 ads in a year, you're considered a dealer.
Oh, the newspaper called you in on that?
Called my mom.
But yeah,
and said no more ads.
What?
Yeah,
freaking!
I got her in trouble because I kept running because I was buying and selling shit.
Out by the damn Journal Star.
Somebody, well, the Journal Star basically, they said no more, and I was like, damn it. But I just drive junk and I loved it. I think I made a list at one time. I've owned like 38 cars by the time I was like 30 some years old. I bought in cars all the time. I've had Cavalier station wagons, regular Cavaliers.
Damn, the wagon. Yep. That's a car you will never see again.
I had a Cavalier station wagon. It was a boxy one. It was a it was 85, 86 wagon.
Yeah, late 80s, body. Early 90s, and then like 96 they went to the more roundy one, or like somewhere in that area.
Yep. And it started with a screwdriver. I bought that thing for like $150. It didn't have a key.
All the good cars. Right. Did you buy it at the City Impound auction?
I did not. I never bought any cars from there.
I
bought bicycles from there.
I have too. Bought a couple bikes. Yeah.
I went there with some buddies that used to buy stuff, and he would carry a wrench with him and a socket to turn the motors over to see if they're locked up before he bid on anything.
Oh,
because you can't start it,
but you could pop them, look them over, and yeah, that makes sense. I feel like the days of scooping up good deals on things like auctions and are over because TV's ruined everything with
Internet's ruined everything.
Yeah, it's probably true.
You don't have to be there in person anymore.
Yeah,
it used to be about.
There's always somebody that knows exactly what it's worth, and they're willing to pay more for it. Like, I can't remember the last time I got a good deal on auction. Like Coparts.
Yeah.
We bought
our campers.
I
think I told too many people about it. I don't know what happened.
You're the one that ruined it.
I fucking ruined it.
Bitch.
But like when I bought my camper, we hit it on just the right time. There was that massive storm that come through.
Yeah, was it the
Not
flood
everybody
and hail?
was camping. Yeah, it was a massive storm and there was flooding. And I know it turned a bunch of campers over at Branched Oak Lake. But camping wasn't massive at the time. Camping's massive now because of COVID. Everybody's camping.
That's true. Yeah, I got to get my old camper up for sale. Well, I have for sale signs on it on the lot down the street, but
there's homeless people sleeping in there right now.
Cats.
Yeah, I think
cats.
It was like a soup kitchen.
Yeah,
I seen it moving.
But yeah, we paid for that. It was an 01. I think we bought it in 08 or something like that. So, it was 7 to 10 years old. I don't remember exactly. It might've been 13. So maybe it was 12 years old, but, we won the auction for $2,300 and we used that was before we knew about the loophole where you could bid on it yourself.
Oh yeah.
So we used a contractor to buy it, and then we had
ended up talking about that.
Ended up being $3,200 for it.
Wow.
But it was a nice camper, it had hail damage on it, which I couldn't find any hail damage at all. But inside was like mint. Yeah. And we've used the shit out of it for, however many years we bought it.
That's pretty good money. I mean, for the use you've gotten out of it.
Totally worth it.
And the prices with campers, you probably get that back out of it.
That's what if I can get it $3,000 for it, I should probably wait. This won't air until the camper sells.
Right. And by the way, anybody looking for a really good camper,
it's not a bad little fifth
there's
wheel
4
camper.
kids made in it. Oh, maybe 2.
What did you do in there? I tried to carry the one around the remainder. There was none of my kids made in that camper.
I didn't know how long you had it.
I think we had kids all the way around by that point. But the new camper,
future kids.
We just bought off of Coparts. That was freaking damn. It was $9,000.
Wow.
And it's about the same age difference,
Yeah.
So it's
look at inflation.
2010, and we bought it in 21, so it was 11 years old.
Yeah.
The newer campers the slide outs don't feel as good as they did, and everything's
cheap.
Everything's made on the cheap, but it's got a bunkhouse and we got 3 kids, so the kids we put a TV back there. Nice. So they can hang out and just be like, shut the fuck up and go to your room.
Yeah, eat this Benadryl and go to bed.
Does that work?
I don't know. I've never tried it.
Just heard about it on the internet.
Yeah.
Internet stuff. Yeah.
Somebody said something.
So, yeah,
they have allergies.
It's crazy too. And like I bought that 04 Suburban that the Sub 100's on.
Yeah.
For $900, $1,300 out the door. Dude, they're going for $1,600 and then plus auction fees. Everything is going up.
Well, then
it's
again,
crazy.
you're going back to the LS stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
If a lot of them Suburbans, people are assuming stuff like that is not abused. It was probably a soccer mom driving it.
Dude.
It got wrecked or something.
Yeah,
she went to Jiffy Lube every 2,500 miles because her husband yelled at her. So that shit, certain cars, it's going to have a better motor. Would you rather buy a Suburban at a soccer with a bunch of stick figure kids on the back that has 150,000 miles on it? Or would you rather buy a Suburban that has, I don't know, Death to America on the back window? It's jacked up because that fucker's been beat.
Yeah, well, I ain't buying nothing that says Death to America on the back.
Well,
the almighty LS1, how could you do that to
Right.
it? But, well...
They're probably Ford guys.
The only problem with that theory is so I've noticed since the wife's had the 2011 Suburban is that we just barely squeaked out being able to afford it before all the poor people.
Yeah.
So we had it for about a year and a half. And then all of a sudden, now those things are everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's every ratchet ass motherfucker, like redneck son of a bitch, and there's dents in the doors, and they're all beat up.
Yep.
And that would have been about the right time frame that I bought that 04 Suburban because it started getting affordable. And then you get they were taken care of for the first 10 years of their life, and then the last 8 years of their life they've just been beat to the ever living shit out of. Nobody cares about them. They're like, it's a $3,500 SUV.
They're worth 15 to 20 grand for 10 years, and all of a sudden they're worth $4,000. You know what I mean? For just saying.
Wait, hold on. What's carry the one around the remainder?
Yeah, something like that.
I hope that
they fall off a cliff.
Yeah,
and then that's where they stay. They're not going down anymore.
They fall off the cliff where the white women don't want to buy them anymore.
Yeah,
and that's not racist, but
no,
it's literally you go in the rich neighborhoods, and there's all the white women. They want all the freaking SUVs and the big ass Suburbans or the
they want the new thing. It's
and they gotta have the one to carry all the kids around and do all the shit.
It's kind of like Roomba vacuums. If you ever want one of those, you wait till the new model comes out. You get on Marketplace, and all the stay-at-home moms, they want the new model. So that all the old Roombas that are $500, they're $150 on there because they want an excuse to go buy a new one. It's just like the cars. The new body style comes out, so they want that one.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
When was the last time? When was the last time you looked at Roomba vacuums?
Well, actually, that comes from my buddy Hensley. He wanted a Roomba for his barber shop.
Oh, okay.
So he told me to look because the new model had come out, and he goes, "That's where you get them."
You don't have to lie.
It is.
You don't have to lie.
He's got to go to a shop. Go to Hensley's barber shop and get your hair cut, and you'll see a Roomba.
This episode is sponsored by Hensley's Barbershop. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to pay me a commission.
Yeah. Well, he's going to give us free haircuts.
Doubtful.
Yeah. Well, he'll give you a free nose wax.
Absolutely, and he'll put it on his freaking Insta face. You got that done?
I do it every time.
Oh my God, you get the shit stuck up your nose?
I only have him cut my hair about every 3 months when I have a special occasion. Otherwise, I do it myself because I'm too cheap.
And it doesn't look like a hard cut.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, I go in there about once every 6 months.
Yeah.
Have him hit me up.
The boy, he cuts my boy's hair, so I'm in there quite a bit.
We went there right before Christmas, I think, and it had been since Derek's wedding. Yeah. Since I had a haircut.
Yeah.
And so I was growing out my 9-inch comb over, basically.
Yeah.
And I took Jackson with me because he got in trouble at school because his hair was getting down in his eyes.
Oh, that's a no-go?
At the private school.
Oh, that's sin?
Yeah, he goes to hell for 3 years for it. Oh, purgatory.
Did they explain why?
I think it's a distraction
because he can't see them.
They're doing the bead.
Oh, the bead flip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's in their eyes, it's a distraction. You can have a mullet there.
Huh. Yeah, but that can't get in your eyes unless you have a really good mullet.
It can't touch your collar.
So what if he had a reverse mullet?
Well, then it'd be covering his face.
Well, it's a hairstyle. What about girls with long hair?
I mean, this is girls aren't.
We could go down the.
Yeah, we're going down a rabbit hole now. I think girls can't have short hair. Huh. I don't know that you can have a side shave there.
Huh.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I don't know. If they shave their head, they can wear a wig.
Wigs are not allowed. I don't know. I don't know the rules.
Well, they can have whatever color hair you want them to have.
Yeah, no dyed hair, no fingernail paint.
And that makes sense. That's fine.
I mean, it's a uniform school.
It's distractions, and uniforms aren't bad. That's a good thing. Everybody's equal.
No, it's awesome because you don't, especially for girls.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, as a, going to junior high and stuff like that, like trying to pick out the coolest thing or whatever, and like, oh, it's not washed, it ruins my day. And now it's like, I just put on the same shit I wear every day.
I was a poor kid, so I didn't have good clothes. They were thrift shop clothes and pay less shoes. Mm-hmm. So you go to, and I'm not against the uniforms because everybody's equal. There's no distractions for learning because everybody's got the same thing on.
Yeah, there's no Big Johnson. That was outlawed in public schools. The Big Johnson.
Dang.
Yeah. Hit you with the throwback one.
Yeah, that's good.
My parents never bought me a Big Johnson shirt.
Yeah, I don't think I had a Big Johnson either.
I remember there was a couple kids that had to put tape over their shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. I was more like the kids, like you see the videos of the kids in Ethiopia with the Super Bowl champ shirts that they never even went to the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
so
the guys
overseas. Yeah, I had those shirts.
The guys with the sticks spinning the bicycle tire down the road. Yeah. That was you.
And 49ers Super Bowl champs 02.
Greatest game of all time.
It's greatest game.
Yeah, I was back when I watched football a little bit, like in the mid-90s.
Yeah, I don't really get into NFL football. It's all political now. I'm tired of political shit in my stuff.
Dude, I want to live life. Like it doesn't all have to be, it's a pissing match. We've turned everything into a pissing match. Can we just, like, friends that were really good friends disagree on political stuff, and now all of a sudden they hate each other, and I can't go talk to them. I was like, well, why? Dude, like, you guys have so much history together. There's no reason you have to fight every time. Well, he's a fucking idiot because he voted for Trump, or that fucking idiot voted for Biden. It's like, who gives a fuck? You guys agree on 97% of the same stuff.
I've come to the conclusion, I'm not going to change somebody else's mind. They're not going to change my mind.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
So let's just not talk about it.
Yeah.
And if you bring it up, I'll fucking go toe to toe with you, but I'm not going to bring it up, or I'm going to walk away because it's not worth it most of the time.
It's not. And usually it happens when people have had a couple pops and a couple cocktails, and they're ready to like
go at it.
Yeah. They're like, oh, this motherfucker.
Yeah. They get their little courage going.
Yeah. A little liquid courage.
That does it for a lot of shit.
Hey, that's how we became really good friends.
Right. That's a great story. Someday.
Maybe on podcast 100 we'll have back.
You can figure out what that's about, but it's water under the bridge now. But
at this point, yeah, I don't get that because, like, it just doesn't. And I get it, but everything doesn't have to be tribal now. Like, it's so tribal.
Yeah. Well, we are tribal people though, and that's why we're getting into this so much, is because we've picked our team, and but we're not. It's the whole everything in the world. We're not meant to compare ourselves to everybody or talk to everybody.
That is true.
We're meant to be in small tribes.
We're used to compare ourselves to, there's an alpha male, there's the one coming up.
Correct.
And then there's everybody else behind him. And this guy, the alpha of the group, he sets the standards because he's the biggest and the baddest or whatever. But now we have however many people are in this world right now, and they're all on social media.
Well,
and we can see
you can compare each other,
and we all can see. And it's
not a good thing. And we're hunter-gatherers. We don't do that. So we have all this rage building up. Everybody talks about violence. Well, it's because we don't get our aggressions out like we're meant to do. It doesn't happen.
Is that why exercise
Exercise,
so big?
yes, it's a huge thing because it gets your adrenaline going.
Get you moving, get your blood pumping, chasing an animal down, chucking a spear at it or whatever.
Same thing, that primal instinct. It's in us. That's like people with depression. Exercise. Before you get on any pills, go exercise.
Dude, that's the biggest thing too, is you go to the doctor.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the damn doctor because every time I go in there, they tell me I'm borderline high blood pressure and they're going to try to put me on some shit. And I'm like, no, dude, give me the natural way to fix it.
Go work out.
Yeah. Figure out what's going to do it. Yeah. I think it's just, I'm high strung anyway.
Yeah.
By nature. I can't sit down.
Yeah. You got borderline ADHD?
Probably.
Undiagnosed?
I don't know. I couldn't afford to go to a doctor. I wouldn't,
we all know.
So. I won't go to bed till 2:30 tonight. So
yeah, and then you get up at 6.
No, I'll wake up at like 7:51.
That's still
and be
ridiculous.
I'll be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I gotta fucking hurry up. I guess I'm skipping my morning shit because I'm gonna be late for work.
I'm in the focus anymore. Like I want to be to bed by 10:30, but I get up at 5:30.
Yeah, but you got to go into the shop and open things up.
Yeah, well, I like to get up in the morning and have my half an hour to smoke cigarettes and drink coffee outside.
Yeah, I like to take an hour in the morning to get ready.
Yeah.
Hour and 15. You know, take my shit, kind of wake up,
do it,
get things going on, take a shower, get ready to go. You know, have some coffee and just loosen up.
Hell yeah!
But I've I don't know.
You've been looking at anything for the Gambler 500 coming up, or they've been talking about that, or?
I have not looked into it this year. I know last year they moved it to it's not Sioux Falls.
Oh wow. So the same guy didn't do it then?
Yeah, he did, but he's got railroad friends up there because he used to work at the railroad, so
he wanted to try somewhere else.
Well, they do that. They used to do that the fall one up there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We talked about going to that one time.
It's 3.5 hours away.
I mean, we're pushing it to make it through the race in our car. Now we got to drive 3 hours away.
Yeah, we're in a 1972 Winnebago.
Yeah, and I
got it out and stripped out, and I love that thing. Like it was my
tired,
it was my second son. Well, I got some motors and shit.
Well, I got a 12 valve. It's a Dodge.
I don't give a fuck what it is.
It's a low mileage 12 valve.
I don't give a shit what it is. Can we make it do wheelies? That's all I want that Winnebago to do.
Put it in the back.
Okay. Now you're talking to me.
Or we just put boards in the springs so there's no give.
Well, I was gonna put 6,000 pounds of concrete or sand in the back of it.
Did we take the tank out of the back? We just fill that bitch with water.
Ooh, what's heavier than water? We fill it up with mercury.
I don't know where you're gonna get 150 gallons of mercury, but
we'll fill it up with mercury. That'll be perfect.
If we get that, that'll be great. Yeah. Hopefully, we don't have a leak. Just leaving cancer behind us.
But it'd be really cool just to wash up in it.
My mom talks about that as a kid. They played with mercury, and she's fine.
Yeah, that's what my parents were like. That was a science experiment.
Yeah, she said that she'd sit on the floor and break open the thermometers and just push that shit around.
Explains a lot for you, not your mom. For
true. You, I think it skips generations and comes down. She soaked it up and passed it on
to your kids.
No, to me.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it'd be fun to do it again.
No, I love the Gambler. Gambler was so I had a handful of things that I look forward to car wise, and Gambler was one of them. Birthday cruise.
Yeah.
Torque Fest. Rust Timber was cool if I could fit it in the fishing trip.
Yeah.
So these are all I've got 4 to 5 things that must do's every year, and within the last 2 years with all the bullshit going on, man, I've done half of them.
Yeah.
Fishing trip got canceled this year. John had his back issue, so we weren't able to go on that, and not blaming him for it.
Yeah,
it is what it is. So you can't get away from it. Gambler was over Derek's wedding, and then it would have been 5 hours away for the Winnebago to get there.
Yeah, and that thing can't make an hour right now.
Yeah, let's be honest. I'll drive it to Beatrice in Kansas.
Yeah, well, that's sketchy as fuck. Yeah, we drive all the way through Kansas and that Tuttle Creek down the fucking 4-wheel drive trails.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna drive it.
Yeah.
Twice that distance and then go beat on it and then drive it home.
Because where are they going? Are they going up? I mean,
a lot of sand hill type stuff because they were getting pretty north panhandle-ish. Yeah. Not that far, but
the one down in Kansas, that was a good time. They need to do something like that again. But
I talked to him last year before. Because that was the last year we went, I think. And I was like, dude, you got to go back down to that Kansas. He's like, yeah, Kansas guys got kind of, they're like, yeah, it's not the Nebraska. It's not the Nebraska Gambler. It's the Kansas Gambler. And I was like, yeah, but that was by far the best. Because, we've done, 3 of them? We won the...
I did 2 of them. You've done 3 of them. I did 2 of them. I didn't go 1 year.
I do 4.
I think because you just took Jackson 1 year, didn't you, your boy?
Jackson and Matt. And then, oh yeah, so you didn't go last year because of COVID.
Yeah.
Or 2 years ago.
It was just a one-day thing.
2 years because of COVID.
It was one day, wasn't it?
So we tried to go, me and Jackson and Aaron. So I went 4 times. You went 2 of those.
Yep.
And that was when the water pump started going. Because you remember it'd randomly get hot.
Yeah.
And then it would be fine.
Yeah.
And it would randomly be hot. Well, the randomly
just
be
keep
hot.
going it.
Randomly be hot got a lot more a lot more often than random, and then it was just always be hot.
Yeah, it was air cooled.
Yeah, so we drove from 120th and Saltillo to the house with 0 coolant in it. It blew the upper radiator hose or the radiator cap off of it, and it was going.
Yeah, I did that in my '53 Buick. I drove from Eagle all the way home. Because that thing was overheating.
Oh, on the birthday cruise.
Yeah, my radiator was clogged, and I just wanted an excuse to put a new motor in that thing because it's all original.
Tried to kill it.
Mess with it.
Tried to kill it.
That thing was steaming. At one point, it sounded like a train horn because it was vibrating the radiator cap and just blowing out steam. Finally, I got into town, and it just died. I tow it home. I fucking it cools down. The thing starts right back up. I clean the radiator out, get it all cleaned and all that shit. Not a head gasket leak, nothing. I ran that thing pegged all day long with no fucking fluid in it, and it didn't even blow a head gasket.
From the GM 4.3 back, they don't build them like they used to.
No.
Because I did the same shit over
8 in a row makes them go.
Yeah. What is kind of crazy that, like, you can literally destroy those motors. The Winnebago is a 72 318. Just literally anally raped that thing dry.
Yeah.
Drove it.
Yeah.
For, when 45 minutes.
Would stick, remember that? Just wide fucking open throttle. God, and we're on mud roads and you couldn't stop till we got to a bridge.
Yeah, and it was
hurry up.
It was pushing, and it was like, okay, we're pushing, I can't stop.
Because the brakes barely worked.
Yeah, and it was muddy as fuck, and it was pushing through the brakes because it was.
Yeah. And then you throw it fucking
the throttle spring came off on that one.
And then you just dump it into fucking park, and that motor's just screaming like a raped ape.
Yeah, we've got to do the Gambler again. The Gambler is one of those things. If you guys don't know about the Gambler, you got to do it. Look it up.
A lot of states have it.
I think probably every state has it at this point. The problem is it's not like it used to be in the aspect of where it was literally just a bunch of ragtag people.
Junk. It was junk.
Junks. And
now people are, their shit looks like junk, but it's not.
Yeah, and they're putting mutters and everything on it, and we're slightly guilty. We got the Winnebago for free. But we stuck to
that was stuck. We didn't put that much money.
$500 at best every year into that thing.
Yeah, at best.
Yeah.
I think the second year we didn't put nothing into it really. Maybe upgraded the fuel system a little bit. No, we didn't. It was the same fuel system.
Yeah, the second time we did is when we put the 4-barrel. I bought that. Fucking Mopar intake.
Yeah.
I bought that 4-barrel intake.
Yeah. Because before we were running.
I think I had to pay $100 for that. And I was like, are you shitting me? A bullshit, shitty spread bore flange, cast iron 318 intake. I could get one of these for a Chevy for 32 cents.
Yeah.
And
apparently it's a rare deal for that.
Yeah. And it was like, whoa, it's a 72 intake. I was like, I don't give a fuck.
Well, that was an upgrade from the 2-barrel intake with a carburetor spacer for a 2-barrel to 4-barrel flipped upside down, and we were running a 4-barrel carburetor on that.
I did port and polish that thing out.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But it still
ran like shit.
It hesitated when you got to about 55.
Oh yeah, it was so crazy. From 50 to 55, it ran awesome. From 55 to 65, it was like, and you had to kind of do one
feather
of these
through
it. And then from 65 above, which we never got there because the thing was so fucking shaky and scary. Above 55, 50, was it 58?
We did no suspension work on that
58 miles an hour, the front end started getting really dodgy.
Well, we did no suspension work. There was no balanced tires. We did brakes for the fucking suspension. We did brakes. No shocks, no fucking anything else. No ball joints, no tie rod ends. We did nothing. We didn't do any of that shit.
Put a master cylinder in it.
We put a master cylinder. That thing sat for how long? Sunk in the dirt.
Yeah, no, we had to drag it out with the Bobcat because for whatever reason my dad thought he was gonna fix it up and make it go.
Fucking smelled like cat house.
Yeah, we had to take the door off to get it through the fence because
and he left
the door hinges.
And there's
and
cats
of course
and
he left the door
living in there.
Yeah, it was.
But we didn't have to stop and go to the bathroom.
Oh yeah,
that's what
you remember. Oh. The very first gambler we did, we got up to Tuttle Creek. Nobody, I think we'd pistoned it all day.
Yeah.
And we never had any issues or noticed any leaks. So we got the very first thing is to do that rock climb.
Yeah.
Well, when we get there, the very last stop.
The first night.
Yeah. The very last stop on the first night, we got to go up. There's 3 courses you could go up. The bitch course, the super easy one, the mediocre one, and then the super hard one. And they go, which one do you want to do? And I was like, well, I want to do the hardest. He's like, I probably wouldn't do that. Why don't you go up?
He's like, there's no way you'll make it.
I was like, he goes, why don't you go up the one on the right? And I go, okay. We went up and it was like, bombed up it. Not a problem. Turned around. I think we drove back, turned around and drove back down it. Yep. We didn't go down the freaking chicken exit. We drove down it. And I whip around to the guy and I go, hey, which one's the hard one? And he goes, just go straight up the middle.
Yeah.
And we bomb up it, and all of a sudden we're halfway up it, and there's like an 18-inch ledge.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it was a fucking rock.
Oh shit. And we just, hold on.
Yep.
Just hammer down.
Somebody has that on video, and I want that video.
Yeah. Well, it's Tim, but he was Facebook Living it all.
That's right.
So the quality was garbage.
Yeah.
So you can see the Winnebago kind of do this.
Yeah, but somebody had to have it from, he was inside.
Tim was outside.
That's right. He was outside when we did that one.
Because
he wanted to videotape
John
it.
went with us, and John was in the back, and it was me, you, and John, because John was our support vehicle.
Yeah, because he was following us, and then he got in there for that. Yeah, and then I remember just smelling the piss because you cracked the shitter tank cracked.
We didn't crack the shitter tank. We cracked.
I thought we cracked the shitter tank.
No, it was the pipe going to the stop. So we pull back up after just bombing up that. We're like the heroes of the group. Everybody's like, I can't believe you did that. That's fucking insane. And Tim's like, quit doing this shit. Because I go, I'm going to do it again. And Tim's like, no, we have to drive this thing home. And I was like, all right, good point. That's a valid point. Okay. Because I was pumped at that point. I was like, to be honest, I was 5 beers in or so. And I was ready to party. Because we missed the last stop and we just went right to the camp.
Yeah, we didn't know we missed it.
Yeah, because we didn't flip the paper over. We're retards.
There was one more stop on the paper.
It's about actually 12 that we skipped. Or 10, I don't know. Maybe 7.
6.
Okay.
No one said that. The paper didn't say turn over.
Yeah, we just thought we hit all the stops and we're like, wow, this is a really long
We just
drive.
taped it to the wall. We got it and we taped it to the wall. So
no, we wrote them on the wall.
Yeah.
And Tim was in charge of that, and he had the clipboard, and he wrote all the stops on the wall.
On a clipboard. We never flipped it over.
And we never flipped it over on the clipboard. So we're like, because normally every stop was about 10, 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
You know, and you're bogging through some back road shit. And
then the last one, it was like a 4-hour drive.
We're like, what the fuck? This is so okay. Well, I guess they ran out of stops.
So way to make sure you got to the camp spot early enough.
Yeah, so we're just hauling ass back. We get to the camp spot, and everybody's like, "Yeah, did you do the rock one or the wall climb or the rough stuff?" And we're like, "Yeah, I remember doing."
Where was that? And
which stop was that? And you're like, "Oh, it was stop 21," and I was like.
So we
stopped at 16.
We piled back in the camper to go to the rock crawl.
Yeah, but we had started partying because we thought our day was done because that was 8.5 hours in the Winnebago driving that thing, and it was brutal.
Yeah.
But Kansas roads are fun.
Yeah, they're terrible. They are. When they have minimum maintenance road,
it's minimum weight. Rutted out to shit.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it was a blast.
It was. You don't have to really worry. It's not mud. It's just rutted out fucking sand and shit.
I remember bombing down that hill going, oh shit, there's a rut that just cuts straight across the road. And I go, oh shit, and I hit the brakes hard and I go, hold on. And I'm like, fuck, I can't hit the brakes through that. And I let off right at the end and like,
yeah.
And you're in the way back and you're just, you get that
it fucking hit.
Yeah. That was a blast. The first gambler we went on was by far the best.
And then there was that sad zoo in Kansas.
Oh my god, with the wolves are like
German shepherds.
Yeah, they're bragging about they have like rare Alaskan wolves or whatever.
And they're fucking German shepherds. They were half dead German shepherds.
They were sleeping. what other animal
they had monkeys.
Monkeys.
Them poor sons of bitches.
They were smoking cigarettes. They looked like they had it figured out.
Yeah, those were some Kansas monkeys. Yeah. They were over there with a PBR and a cigarette in the corner.
They're like, fuck this shit,
throwing
man.
shit at us.
This is my new life. Whatever, man. Give me another beer.
And the zoo was just in the middle of town. The monkey enclosures were grain bins.
It was a city zoo.
It was fucking weird.
In a tiny town.
I'd never seen anything like it.
You guys seen Tiger King?
Yeah, he kept
way worse.
Yeah, he kept good care of his animals compared to this. It was
I had never been so sad in my life.
Yeah, all I wanted to do was play the Sarah McLachlan song the whole time I walked through there. In the arms of an angel.
Yeah,
because it was sad. I wanted to call the ASPC.
I don't know what that means, but I did too.
Yeah, donate 60 cents a month.
Yeah, and that first time, oh my God, that was like, you know when you do heroin for the first time?
No, but I can imagine.
And you're just chasing that freaking high.
It
we've
was
had
great.
some good runs. And
remember when, I don't know if he watches these, but remember when Tim was drunk and we decided we wanted to go to bed? So we left him. We tried to trade him to some other people. So this other team had somebody, one of their guys, and we're like, we'll trade you guys. And so we go down and go to bed, and Tim comes down there all pissed off, tries to set his tent up on the rocks.
We had started setting our tent up right at dark or whatever.
Right before it got pitch black.
Yeah. And so we had found a nice spot on a lumpy hill to set our tent up.
But it wasn't on fucking 1/4 crushed rock.
Yeah, no, Tim definitely came down there all pissed off because I rode my moped back up there and I was like, Tim, we're setting up our tents. It's time to go to bed, or whatever.
He went to college. Tim was out in full force.
He was hanging out with the dudes in the cut off top Cadillac with the American flag cut off sleeveless shirts on and cowboy hats, and he was in his fucking zone.
Yeah.
He was drinking whiskey with those guys.
Yeah, he was fucked up.
And I said, hey, Tim, we're going to bed. We're setting up our tent. You come on down. We'll help you. He goes, why don't you leave my moped here and walk back? And I was like, Tim, first of all, this is my moped.
Yeah.
And you can go fuck yourself.
That was our emergency vehicle.
Yeah, that was our recovery vehicle.
Yeah, we had a moped strap. Did we strap it to the front or the back?
The back. We strapped it to the spare tire.
In case something happened, like, I don't know what the fucking moped was going to do.
We were all going to pile on a 1980 Honda Hop.
Or at least one person could go to get help.
Yeah.
Maybe we ran out of gas and you go on the moped.
Yeah, throw a 5-gallon bucket on the back. We had our gas stick that said, good to party.
Yeah.
Not looking good. And, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
Because we didn't have a gas gauge. It's a fuel cell. And we just stick a stick in it.
It was my old fuel cell out of the Chevelle.
Yeah. And we could see, that's why we did so good. We could fuel on the go. Because we'd stop and get probably 20, 25 gallons of fuel and put it right behind my chair where I was smoking. And, and then
plus the 12 gallons in the fuel cell.
Yep. So. And then we'd check and we didn't have to stop the fuel.
We never had to stop.
We spilled a lot of fuel, but who cares?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Sometimes, hey.
Bumps happen.
It was good smells.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tim told me to go fuck myself and give me his moped. And I go, you know what, Tim? Fuck you.
Yeah.
You can walk home.
Which was down a hill.
Yeah, you can walk down the winding hill and get there. And about 45 minutes later, me and Sims were spooning in our tent. And
no, we were sitting at the picnic table having a cigarette, and you were having a beer when he showed up. And we watched him try to put his tent up.
That's right, yeah. And then we just walked down and got in our tent.
Yes.
And we hear, he worked on that thing for 45 minutes in the dark.
Legit 45 minutes.
Set it all up.
Had to
put the rain fly on.
But it was hot as fuck. It wasn't going to rain. He puts the rain fly on, and then we hear him start cussing.
Motherfucker!
He put it on the wrong way, so he covered the door.
He covered the fucking door with the rain fly. He's like,
that was the
motherfucker!
best.
And then he ripped
and then he set it up on
off.
rocks too first. Then he got in and went on rocks.
He set it up right next to the back of the Winnebago, and this was a brand new campground where they had the big, giant crushed limestone, like 1.5 inch, whatever.
Jagged motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Not packed down at all.
Yeah, they were basically setting up, you know, they were trying to make a new drive there. Yeah. And he finally lays down and what did he say? Well, that was a fucking waste of time or something. Or a bad idea, or that was a fucking waste of time.
It was great. I don't even remember what happened. I think we went to sleep. I don't did he go sleep inside the camper?
No. He fucking ripped his tent up, threw it down the hill.
That's right.
It was already
up. He did.
Threw it down the hill, and then it ended up pretty close to where we set ours up, because, you know, we had mapped it out in a little bit of light.
Decent area.
But we missed the best part, that we got so sidetracked with this. So we cracked the plumbing line going to the shutoff valve on the black tank.
Yes.
Crawling up that. And so we pull up right next to the dude that was running it.
Yeah, well, there was a bunch of people in this top parking lot after that.
That was like the after party.
They were talking.
Yeah.
People were bullshitting, looking at each other's vehicles and stuff like that. I think... Did you set up the grill? Because John was cooking for us.
Yeah, no, we set up the grill. We busted the grill out.
Yeah.
People were coming over to our place.
Out there,
grabbing a beer, bullshitting with us. They were just hanging out, and they're like, hey, man, you mind if I take a piss in the Winnebago? I was like, fuck yeah, I don't care. And everybody was doing it. And the next thing you know, we're standing a little bit downhill from where the camper was. And we're like, damn, the ground's kind of getting wet. And damn, it stinks like piss around here. Yeah, we didn't realize we had cracked the tank.
Yeah.
And for 5 hours, half of the people from the Gambler, like chicks, were coming in there like, hey, you got a toilet in there? Yeah, go take a piss.
It was just straight piss in the parking lot.
And they would flush it, and the street.
Yeah.
The gravel parking
Everybody
lot
was standing in it. No, it was blacktop. That parking lot was blacktop.
No, that was rock. That was white rock.
Pretty sure it was blacktop where we were parked. It was blacktop. Because it was...
For story's sake, I'll give you credit for that.
Because that's how it ran to where we were. Because if it was rock, it would have just seeped in.
Yeah. But either way, it was...
Yeah, it stunk.
It stunk like hell by the night. And
I think that's what made everybody go to bed.
No, we played Hammerschlagen.
Oh, that's right. That's when we learned Hammerschlagen. We left. There were still people up. Tim was partying pretty hard with some people.
Mm-hmm.
But
we had that big ass they had that big ass bonfire going at Hammerschlagen. So we did that. We did a couple rounds of Hammerschlagen, and then we're like, all right, well, let's get the Winnebago back.
Get our shit ready.
We can come back and party, whatever. Well, and the headlights didn't work.
That's right.
We got about halfway out of the parking lot, and the headlights just...
That's why we took the moped with us, because I drove down the hill
the moped, and I followed you because I couldn't see shit. It was so black out there. So I followed the red light on the Honda Hobbit.
That's right.
Down to the campground, because Tim rode the Hobbit up there, so he wanted the Hobbit back. So that's why he thought it was his.
Yeah.
And so I rode it back up and was like, "Hey Tim, we're setting up camp."
He told people,
"Come down."
I don't remember what the deal was.
Yeah. Well, I was so pissed off. When I came back after going up to try to get him, he told me to go like, "Fuck you, leave the moped here." I literally ghost rid the moped into the bushes. Do you remember when that? Like right by the picnic table?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want Tim to find it in the middle of the night and go up and rip-roar it.
Yeah. That was a good time.
That was a fucking blast.
Tim needs to come back to a Gambler with us.
What did his wife say on the Facebook? You know what? I'm going to find a screenshot of that. And I'm going to post it right now. Yeah,
she's like,
Tim, I'm tired of seeing your fucking face. And she doesn't cuss.
Yeah, no.
We're tired.
He live streamed so much.
Yeah, and it was so choppy. I mean,
it was terrible.
Yeah, it was bad. But that was a good time. That was a blast.
Yes, it was. We got to look into doing that again. So.
No, I definitely think that the Gambler will happen again. I just
hopefully
don't know.
They bring it back here. You know, I love the Winnebago. I would really like to get a little car just to bomb through some shit. I think it'd be fun to do it in a little car.
Yeah, I do too.
You know, just fucking rip a little car. I don't know why.
We ripped a fucking Winnebago. We were doing 50 miles an hour and down sketchy ass roads and ripped it. But
something about a little car seems kind of fun.
It seems the most fun.
It does. It does.
It does. I don't know why. I think jumping it maybe and
just like a little Honda fucking Accord or something like that. You could
throw it in the fucking corners, but damn it, dude, I think an Accord would get stuck.
Yeah. I don't know, something. like a fucking Grand Marquis and then chop the top off and make it convertible. Some bullshit like, or make it have T-tops.
Yeah, but dude, you know how terrible it'd be in June, July in a fucking convertible for 8 to 12, but probably 12 hours a day, because by the time we leave Lincoln, get to Beatrice,
we could make it like a K5 Blazer and just cut the back half off.
So fucking Tim in the back.
Whoever's in the back is in the opening.
Yeah.
You get good airflow.
What was so my brother built that one.
Was that Tempo?
I think it was a Tempo, yeah.
Yeah.
And it had 35-inch mutters on it.
No, or was it a Saturn?
No, it was a Tempo.
It was a Tempo?
I think, or, something like a Tempo.
Yeah.
And
Tempo Topaz. What's the difference?
Topaz. It might have been a Topaz.
Yeah.
That sounds more closer. But whatever the fuck it was an old, early 90s, late 80s, whatever, $500 car. Yeah. And they had 35s on it with giant wheel spacers, huge offset, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They said no doors, roof cut off, a trampoline roll bar, I think, because one of them had a trampoline. And they just made a fake roll bar out of it.
Yeah.
They had to, it was so muddy that year. Was that the year you went again?
No, I think that was the year.
Oh, that was the year we won.
Yeah.
That was the year we won. They had to go to Walmart or Tractor Supply or whatever and buy totes, sheet metal screw them to the fenders to cover up where the tires were throwing mud, because the mudders were just throwing everything right in their face and they couldn't see anything.
That'd be terrible.
No, that was the year you went, wasn't
it?
Yeah, that was the year you went. That was a
van. They did that. There was some other guys that did that with a van.
Okay, so I'm getting 2 years mixed up.
You're getting 2 years mixed up. Yeah. Because they had like what was it? Like a Mazda MX van
MPV.
and all-wheel drive. Yeah, MPV.
Yeah,
they cut the roof off, had big mutters on it, and they went and got blue totes.
That's what it was.
That thing didn't look suspicious at all.
Yeah, when the sheriff showed up, rolled through there, and he's like,
"No, we're not doing anything. Look at this thing."
We got pulled over by the sheriff.
Yeah.
For going down a minimum maintenance road.
We were going towards the
minimum maintenance road, and then we turned around and the sheriff was tailing us, and he pulled us over in the middle of the road, gravel road.
Don't admit to anything.
Hey, what are you guys up to today? And he's like, you part of that car club that's running through here? I was like, yeah,
we're just race.
Car race. Yeah. He's like, yeah, we're part of that. We're just, we got going up here, and this is the next
waypoint.
Looks
way too many.
I was like, we're not going through that road. No, there's no way we could do that. And he's like, steps back, looks at us, and goes, yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
And he looks at it, goes, yeah, obviously you guys aren't the ones tearing up the roads and going in the cornfields. They go, okay, have a nice day, sir. And we get about a block away, and we're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
If only he would have seen us
an hour ago. Wow.
When we had the Winnebago completely pegged sideways going, ba, 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 ba. Oh,
there is no that thing should have never made it through there. Yep. I'm out the window. Left, right.
Get in the rut, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it snaps super hard. The rear end of the snap. Oh, so that was intense. That was actually, the first Gambler was like the crack.
Yeah.
And then you get the good crack again, and that was like
it was different. It was different. The second one was like a mud fest. It was mudding. Yeah. We were mudding.
It was legit. And the Winnebago really does a lot better than most people would think.
Yeah, and I think, what'd they say? There was like 8 people that got pulled into Johnson County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah.
Because they fucked up minimum maintenance roads.
They were trying to find the guy.
And we were smart enough to know there's a sheriff that it's a fine if you tear up a minimum maintenance road.
Yeah, so we were looking at the Facebook page, and so we were like, okay.
Yes.
Well, we drove by him, and the only option was to go turn right down a minimum maintenance road or go straight down a minimum maintenance road. And he was parked there because he knew that was your only option.
Yeah.
And so we got to the minimum maintenance road, and we're like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and just turn around right now.
But here's the thing, I get to thinking about that later on in life is if we just would have went for it, what was he going to do? He was in a car.
He probably could have drove around to the other side and beat us there.
Maybe. But straight and left was a minimum maintenance road. He would have had to backtrack a country mile and then go all the way around. But you ain't going to hide a Winnebago. He would knew what we looked like.
Yeah,
we weren't getting away.
Yeah, we're not a 93 Cavalier. We're not going to blend into society.
Yeah, this is a fucking 79 Winnebago that says
72.
72.
Yeah, let's not get that shit twisted.
Yeah, that says Team Braveheart on it and has fucking gas grill covers as headlight covers so we don't break our headlights when we're off-roading. Those things are legit, though.
Yeah, we took the stove grills, whatever, the pan, the thing the pans sit on. Yeah, and we welded some.
They were perfect size.
1/8-inch stock, 3/8-inch stock, and put some fucking drillers through it. And that's our grill or headlight covers.
I probably got some pictures somewhere.
Yeah, I know I got pictures of that. But...
Oh yeah, I got pictures of us using the winch going up a hill and almost pulling that tree out of the ground.
The very first one.
Yeah, because that was sand.
Yeah, we buried that bitch up to the frame.
Yeah. That was pretty good.
That fucking not Navigator, that Mountaineer. The Mountaineer fucking. Yeah. I cannot believe that guy yanked us out.
Yeah, I thought he was going to yank that thing in half.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
A lot of good times in that Winnebago. That mother, oof.
Yeah.
I got so much love for that thing. I can't let her die. I don't know what I'm going to do. Because I've had thoughts of just like restoring it 100% to all its glory. But
that would be really expensive.
She's a rough girl.
That would be really fucking expensive.
She's a rough girl. Yeah, I mean, it would take probably $4,000 just to get rid of all of the Flex Seal and
spray
stuff
foam,
on the roof.
And spray foam.
Yeah. That would be a rough time.
Yeah, it wouldn't be worth it. You could maybe make a car hauler out of it.
I've thought about that. My one thing I want to do.
Would fit in the back. The Honda Lac would fit in the back.
Ooh, Honda Lac in the back. We could make a rap song about that.
Oh yeah, Honda Lac in the back of my Winnebago sack.
Why is it gotta be in a sack?
Because it rhymed with back.
No, I think when you're doing raps nowadays, you just change the word to sound like another
that's true.
word.
You can make shit up.
Yeah.
Or I could add like SpaghettiOs or
just mumble.
Yeah, the mumble rappers.
Yeah, you can go to straight Tupac to mumble rap when it doesn't work out.
You can go to a message to just blah, 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 or auto-tune the fuck out of it so you don't even know what they're saying.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea. But the one thing I want to do with the Winnebago, before I kill it or before I put it to bed, is it has to do a wheelie. That's my goal.
No, I think that's reasonable.
That's been my goal the last 2 years, and then
I wish we could ghost ride it off a cliff and watch it explode. You know what I mean?
Is that real?
I wish we could.
Can we do that?
I don't know. I wish we could find a place to do that. That would only be right for that thing. It'd probably keep going.
I think if we went to like South Dakota and went on a res or something, we could do that.
I don't know, but that would be that. It'd go out in glory. Like put like some fucking Roman candles on it and light them. Yeah, you know, maybe some fountains. Fucking just let it go.
It hurts my heart just to think of it. But it's like letting go of like a family member, a loved one.
Yeah.
You know, it's like putting your dog down.
Mm-hmm.
But I never put my dog down with a Roman candle in its ass.
Well, you can try that. Maybe he'd be happier. Hey, Doc, let me light this real quick. Dog really wanted this.
Yeah, this is all Dog said he wanted at the end of his life. It's like, I want to go out with the Roman candle in my ass.
Oh, yeah. It's great. Yeah.
Colin had a good idea the other night that we should put a wood stove in it and make it I said call it the cabin. And then it's the mobile cabin. So we got a wood stove in it, and we can just...
Yeah, you get them little tiny wood stoves.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know, I guess you could just hang out in it.
Yeah, I think that's all.
Yeah. I still think you could just paint an N on the side of it and sell it to somebody for $4,000 as a tailgater.
Speaking of tailgaters, we were going out to DE Guns over... Black Friday or whatever, because I think the Huskers played on Friday.
Yes.
Westo, or not, Easto, sorry. Whoever had their little teardrop freaking thing with the grill on the back, their freaking tailgater special, axle fell out.
Ooh, shit.
From underneath it. It was just sitting on the side of the road. There's a little teardrop with the grill on the back. and then about a mile down the road,
a fucking axle.
Fucking axle.
Wow, that's a bad day.
Yeah.
Where the fuck was he going then?
He was heading into town to fucking tailgate for the
Oh, that's
thing.
right. That sucks.
And
well, most of them tailgate rigs are not roadworthy.
Well, they load her down with so much fucking beer and freaking barbecue sauce.
Beer and beef. Beer and beef and some cheese.
Yeah, and he left it there, and then we came back a couple hours
We had to get
later.
to the fucking game.
Oh, it's true. He was like, I ain't missing this fucking tailgate.
Nope, my buddy got a spot next to me. I'll leave this bitch.
Trey's got all the shit I need. I'm good.
Chances are he never registered it and just walked away from it.
I thought about just scooping it up and dragging it out.
Yeah, because most of that stuff is junk. They turn into something.
Yeah.
So it probably wasn't registered, and so he just left it and went to the game, took his beer out.
Well, the one thing, and I don't know if I should say this out loud on the internet, but Lincoln cops won't fuck with you for trailers. They won't fuck with the registration on trailers. They won't fuck with weight on trailers.
Yeah.
They won't fuck with anything. You run by a sheriff, state P, whatever, highway patrol. Now they're going to fuck with
that's more their deal.
That's their deal. But you have tags that are 4 seconds bad in Lincoln on your car,
yes,
and you'll be pulled over instantly.
Yes.
You have a trailer that has never been licensed and that has no plate on it,
yes,
and you can drive it for 48,000 years and they'll never bother you.
Yeah, I got a trailer that was my wife's dad's, and we picked it up from Texas. He had it down there for 10 years. It has Nebraska plates on it from 2001, and he used it every day in Texas. I pulled it here and pulled it back to Texas 3 times.
Never had an issue?
Not a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you get busted on the highway. That's where you get the issue. That's where you have the problem.
He's deceased, so I can say stuff. I'm pretty sure the plate has a cut in it. It looks like the forks from a skid steer.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he did that on purpose to make it hard to read.
Oh, accidentally bumped it.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's a construction trailer, and it happens.
Speaking of construction, so you're in construction.
Yes.
You work for a plumbing company, a nice outfit out here in Lincoln.
Yes.
What do you guys do with shitty subcontractors that do subpar work and then tell you to go fuck yourself when you go, hey guy, this isn't quite right?
We try to stay away from them. That's what we try to do.
Yeah.
Try to weed them out. I mean,
yeah, I had that phone call today.
Really?
A concrete job for a big driveway floor. Owner's pissed about it. I said, I'm going to talk to the guy. Guy basically told me to go fuck myself.
Really?
Yeah. And then he hung up on the conversation. He said bye before he hung up, but he also told me to go fuck myself right before he said bye.
Yeah, and that's the nature of the construction industry right now.
And it just felt so right. I called him right back.
Yeah.
He didn't answer. I left him a voicemail and said,
Did you just do a shit ass job?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Really?
And I said, hey, this person's name. When you're not so upset, can you call me back and we can talk about this?
Yeah. Yeah, why you gotta be so mad?
Here's my number. 402 beep 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 beep. Yeah.
Beep.
And he didn't call me back.
That's ridiculous.
So what it's going to boil down to is, like Aaron said, he's like, why does somebody with fucking morals or like just like the decency to try to put out a good product, why is that person always fucked?
It's true.
I don't know.
That's the person that's the person that gets burned.
Yeah.
You know,
this guy can go out and fucking sell, $11,000 jobs and
just do
tell
shit
him he's
jobs.
fucking, fuck you, motherfucker. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
He told me my smart mouth was going to get me in trouble.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
I said,
how's that, bud?
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
hasn't yet. Let me know when it's going to happen.
You could ask Sims. I've had this smart mouth for a long time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even being smart with him. I was just pointing out the fact that he did a shitty ass job on certain parts.
See, that'll piss people off more. If you call them out on something they know is shitty versus you just randomly talking shit, like you took it to heart because that's his heart and soul, and he does fucking terrible work. So
That's
you
true.
you
That's
stabbed
true.
him in his manhood. You might as well have told him he had a tiny cock. The same thing. That's the same thing.
Well, the way that's true. But I mean, he told me because the garage door didn't seal on the concrete. And so, because there was a big hump in the concrete.
Yeah.
And so I said, all right, well, I'm not gonna bother him about this.
Did he have a crooked board when he screeded it?
Maybe a lazy eye.
Yeah.
Maybe a lazy knee. I don't know. And so I was like, fuck it, we're gonna grind this little hump down. Well, it doesn't matter. I called him. He said, hey, we're not dealing with what we call, I'm not even going to even address what we call bird baths in the industry. And I literally was like angry and laughing. I was like,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, what's
you're a professional.
Yeah,
only non-professional people put bird baths in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bird baths is an insult.
Yeah.
Not a compliment. Like, oh, look, the birds can drink water or wash themselves. No, it's an insult.
Yeah.
So you're not going to address your insults.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, fuck it. You know, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to call.
Yeah.
What's his name? Ooh, that was close. I don't want to call you. I don't want to deal with it. I'm just going to, grind the high spot down out of the ground, make the garage door seal.
Yeah.
Make the owner happy. We can all walk away. You can keep your money. I can keep my money. I don't have to put any more money out on this stuff.
Well,
and then, the first time it gets like ice cold, the lady's calling me like, oh, concrete's heaving, things are bad, blah, blah, blah. And we need to address this because this isn't right either. Because like now there's other things happening, which heaving in concrete, I get that happens.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to really bust his balls on that, but there's a lot of shit that wasn't that great. And so I'm like, hey, listen. Well, I was like, hey, when are you going to go look at that? Because he was supposed to let me know. So we go look at it together. Yeah. And he went out there by himself, went and looked at it and addressed it by himself.
Yeah.
So well, I wasn't able to go look in the garage, but I saw this and I was like, well, did you look in the northwest corner? That's the big issue.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I didn't, whatever. And I was like, well, here's the thing. He's like, well, you ground the concrete down and clearly, you do such a shitty job grounding that down. It's all uneven and stuff. And I was like, I
bleep.
Oh, fuck. I said it. Yeah. Good thing this isn't live.
Right.
I'll adjust that. I said, listen, you're telling me that what I did to this concrete.
Yeah.
Because he told me, he goes, I don't even know that what you did to the concrete was what's wrong with the concrete. Probably was it your fault.
So you took concrete away, which made it heave. Crowned it.
No, I basically took a giant hump out of the slab in a downward angle and said, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take this hump out so the garage door will seal. Because his instant thing was, yeah, I want to go ahead and just put a really thick gasket on the garage door so that it'll seal. And I was like, how do you even know about a thick garage door gasket?
He's got double gaskets on all the garage doors.
Do you have this problem a lot?
Yeah.
And then it was, and then he got mad when I told him that, I don't know if you guys lost your chalk line or what, but it dips off like an inch in that corner. He's like, listen, your fucking smart mouth's going to get you in trouble. I was like, what are you... Damn, I said it again. Let me a lot of editing in this.
Yeah. The thing about concrete, what inspections besides your approach does concrete get looked at?
Foundation.
So it's kind of unregulated besides the approach.
Yeah.
They come and look at your approach.
Oh, shit, we were streaming live to YouTube. Yeah, fuck,
that's on you. But so it's unregulated. So people can do a shit-ass job and there's nobody there to say you're getting screwed. I'm a plumber and I deal with the concrete guys in basements all the time in new construction, and the concrete never slopes towards the floor drain. That's usually the highest point in the basement.
Yeah. So because you guys roughed that fucking trap.
We put that thing in 2 inches below concrete
and it's 14 inches above.
Yeah, they go up and then they dish down to the fucking floor drain. I think it's the problem is what happens is they
see it, they get scared.
Well, no, they go to dish out the floor drain and they just pile up the concrete for the dish. And then it just creates
a mound right at it. Yeah. All right, guys, we've been at this for a while. We're gonna call it a wraps here. I want to thank Ryan for coming on the show.
Anytime. Hopefully I'll be back.
Oh, we'll have you back every single weekend if you want.
Heck yeah.
What does that mean? All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. And hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.